Very good afternoon, boys. Very good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay, we'll continue with today's class. The PPT that I've shared is visible to you all, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you go through that and tell me what is written there? Can somebody explain what is written in that slide?
Ma'am, if a company has purchased insufficient quantities of any raw product, raw product which was going to be made into a manufactured product later, they wouldn't be able to complete the manufactured product in time.
Okay.
And usually the companies have contracts with sellers, the people who actually sell the manufactured goods, and send like delivering the uh, goods late would actually be a loss for both
Both.
parties.
Yes, that's correct. Others has got it correct. Anybody else? Chinmay? Anybody else? Tarun?
Ma'am, it basically means that you need to have the right amount of products
No,
and
I
the
understood. Others said that yes, we need to procure the right amount of materials so that our customers are happy, our production is in line. All that is fine. I want you to give some examples now.
Ma'am, assuming a coffee business,
Yeah, superb. Yes.
okay, so the raw product will be coffee seeds.
Okay.
And in case we don't get quality coffee seeds at the right time, we won't be able to package and sell it to our customers.
Yeah, I'll put this
Just if
example.
there is a problem in the quality of the coffee seeds, or maybe the supplier is facing uh, issues with supply, then we won't have enough coffee seeds to package and give it to our customers. Hence we will lose customers. And also, if you're using some retail store as a partner in selling our products, we will also have we'll also get the retail store might get someone else next time, and
Yeah.
will not come to us for the
No, I
manufactured
can make
product.
this kind of a problem. I put this whatever others has given me an example. I will take that only make into two examples. Now assume that others is owning some business of a coffee company. He maybe he's having a coffee resort or something like coffee estate or something like. Now he is in charge of procuring the coffee seeds, and his customers in one side he's trying to procure. He has to supply some about 20 kgs of coffee powder to some good hotels, or you name the hotel, Capital Hotel or some hotel. He has to maybe on 21st of every month he needs to deliver 20 kgs of coffee powder to that company. At the same time, some other customers are there are several retail small scale shops. Maybe for every shop he needs to give 5 kgs of coffee powder, right? And but during that process, the case study is like during the refinement of this coffee powder, the intake, that is if 20 kgs plus 10 retail shop which requires 5 kg, that means how much it will be? almost 120 kgs of coffee powder, he'll be needing it, right? So maybe if he's not having insufficient capacity of raw materials, during maybe he's not having the growth of so much coffee seeds in his estate, then the problem arises. What he's going to do is the target point. So how is he, what are the problems he's going to face, how is he going to satisfy his customers? All these points are linked with one another. You getting the point? Boys, are you getting the point?
Yes, ma'am.
How the materials play an important role. Before you get your orders, we should make sure that whether we will have sufficient amount of raw materials before we put into process. That's why this aggregate planning and this master production schedule happens a very important picture before we move ahead. So that in aggregate planning, I hope you remember the we study the forecast demand. What is, we always try to, more than the over requirement, we always try to know, we draw an average line where we can always forecast our demand a little somewhere down the actual need, and keep something in buffer, so that even if there is excess also, it's okay, but we should not lose our customers. That's the main intention of our business, or that should be the main example or main goal of any organization, to keep your customers very satisfied. Is it clear? Now the same thing, suppose you have a machine, you have brought you need to manufacture about 100 buckets, okay, 100 buckets of pink color. Some hotels have been maybe some women's day celebration is coming, so they want to give away all pink buckets to all the women's over there, so they're targeting to produce about 100 buckets. Now this plastic company requires pink plastic granules, epoxy, then some other additional requirements. These are all, plastic will be, the granules will be the dependent variable, the other and all addition for binding agent, for melting agent, for different things we need, right? So all these will become the independent attributes. So when you bring all these together, and you should well be very, if one to manufacture one bucket, if you need minimum points if you need 1 kg, therefore you should plan for 100 buckets how much kgs of plastic granules is required. That well-first study has to be done before you actually put into the operation process. That study process must be very clear before you put into your production process. So therefore this material requirement planning plays a very, very important role in the complete organization. If you fail in this aspect, then everywhere there will be some kind of a target line or some kind of critical point for us for achieving our target production. Am I clear? Is this point clear for you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, when we're talking about the production line, I said already there are something called dependent attributes and there are something called independent attributes, in which we talk about it in the next slide. Now, independent demand and we have dependent demand. Independent demand means what? It's basically of if I take a car company, it's the body of the car which acts as a independent demand. Okay, it's not dependent on anybody. If it is done, it is done. The baseline. Okay. Now, dependent demand are the elements like nuts, bolts. You need 2 nuts, 2 tires, or you need 2 axles or 1 steering, or so many. These are different attributes which are given. So these all, when these are the bill of materials which is given to us, these all have to be. Without these dependent material, our final product cannot be made. Right. So these will indirectly contribute in making our final product. So what we say is independent demand is uncertain, but dependent demand is certainly required to complete a final product. This is only a car example I've just given as an example, but independent demand is our final product. We need to think about a final product which is based on this. Dependent demand is something like one or the other elements are dependent upon each other to try to manufacture a final component. Okay. Now, when we're talking about dependent demand and independent demand, what are the attributes that come into picture when we're talking about it? The attributes will be the nature of demand, the service level, the goal, the demand co-occurrence, then estimation of demand, the quantity of order, when to order. All these attributes will fix up which are dependent demand, which are independent demand. Okay. So these are the two attributes which are very much important when we are studying about the materials requirement planning. Any doubts here? Should I move on to the next slide? Can we move on? When people joined in, there were 30 students in my class. Now suddenly I'm seeing only 24 to 22. The class strength is only 22. Tired, is it?
Ma'am, the
No,
diploma
ma'am.
students left.
Diploma.
I mean, the other students left, parallel batch students left.
Okay, parallel batch students left. Okay. Hmm. Okay, shall I move on to the next slide now? We'll see what MRP will do. See, this things itself speaks what this MRP does. So MRP, when you have a MRP, it reduces your inventory levels, it reduces your component shortages, it improves shipping performances, your customers are satisfied better, productivity will be improved, simplified and accurate scheduling will be done, reduces purchasing cost, it will improve the production schedules, it will reduce the manufacturing costs. If this MRP that you plan, if you do all this, then entire thing, it's definitely going to help the entire production line, thereby your everybody is satisfied. That's what I'm trying to tell. So it reduces manufacturing costs, reduces lead times, less scrap and rework, higher production rates. So these will be the MRP. Here some more additional. So if you have MRP in the MRP system, the management information systems will improve our communication, it will improve the plant efficiency, it will reduce the freight cost, reduce the excess inventory, reduce overtime, improve supply schedules, improve calculations of that means you know your what is your forecast demand. So based on that, you can always try to estimate what will be the requirement of the next month. By this you will know who are your competitors, who you want to compete with. Before they are doing something, you want to put your skill well in charge, right? So these will be the important requirements of our MRP system, right? So next we'll see the basic steps of MRP. In the basic steps of MRP, we need to first know where there is a demand. There is a demand. After knowing the demand, you need to identify what are your requirements, right? Then you will run your MRP. Running your MRP is you try to get suggestions, feedbacks from everybody, and you basically target of how easily you can try to achieve your requirements. So that will be the running MRP. Running MRP is will work better only by trial and error. So you should know what will be your absolute schedule, what should be your next day schedule, how much you're going to keep in your inventory, how much should be the buffer inventory. All these things should be your allocated inventory must be how much, your projected on hand inventory should be how much, gross requirements are how much. All these should be planned well in advance, right? So this is a very important step of our MRP system, right? So when you have, if you see, if you work in any organization or in any factory, you'll have that something called the bill of materials, in which it will have the order quantity number will be there, safety stock value will be there, how much should be scheduled at the month of 2021st, how much will be scheduled, that number will be there. At present, how much is there eligible in our inventory. If you see in a digital display somewhere, it will be indicating all that. Planned order is how much. If you have visited some of the production company, it will all these values in the bill of materials will should have been highlighted, thereby even indicating when is our next order, when the next amount of material is going to come. All that will be planned in our process. Is it clear? So next firming, finally you take the best solutions and you will firm these suggestions. If you see the basic, if you look at our technical process of technical way of processing our MRP, it will be first will be we need to first plan our bill of materials. That is, we need to work our pre-processing plan for our bill of materials. Then we need to create a master production schedule that I'll talk in the coming classes. Next, we need to create a master production schedule. Then what we need to do, transfer the end items requirements to the final component list, right? So these will be the basically the MRP processing layout. This is generally in understanding the steps of MRP, but processing of MRP is also important. We will see in the coming slides. Okay, identifying the requirements, how and all we identify the requirements. I said no, the bill of materials will be there. There it will be written how much is should. There should be a minimum target of how much should be the quality on hand, how much should be for open purchase order, how much should be planned for manufacturing, how much should be committed to existing orders, what is the quantity that we need to forecast. All these things we need to get the suggestions from the operation that is from the production cycle. From them we need to get these points, and then only we can forecast our demand. This will be the first step in identifying the requirements. Next, important information of MRP is now we'll produce, right? We'll try to get the raw material, but we should also see that the moment you produce, immediately it will be absorbed in the market, or it will go for, it will all be sold out. Then, therefore, you should know the company sensitive, you should know the location sensitive, you should know the date sensitive. If after manufacturing within a week only, if it has lost its value, then there is no point in producing the entire process, right? So therefore we should work on all these things as well, right? So next, creating suggestion critical items, when it will expedite, we need to know when should be the expiry date, what are the critical process where there will be a lag and delay, we need to identify them. And delay items, because of whom and all there will be a delay, maybe the your vendor who's there, he always delays the process, or the vehicle which you have for loading and unloading things has a problem, so therefore you always give 2 additional days for it. So all these things depend, knowing your company strategy, you should plan in such a way that you should identify what are the critical items, what are the expiry items, what are the delayed items that is going to process on. So these all three things you will need to be prepared with these things while you're making your MRP schedule. Next will be forming the suggestions. After you know your actual target points, what and all are your lackingness, after knowing all that, you will take your orders. You will go, you based on taking your orders, then only you will give purchase orders. Then based on that, you will make sure that you give your reports to each different higher levels, right? So at this point, I will show you one video of how is this material planning being executed in a industry. Is the video being played? Sorry. Video being played? Can't I the video? Should I play it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you see here, you need to calculate the number of materials needed for uh, product production, right? So when you're planning for planning for product production, there, as a operations manager or as a product head, you should know in fixing your safety stock, You should know in fixing your lead size. You should know the different lot size rules for which product. What are the different lot size rules you need to apply? Like the different lot size rule will be for first order quantity. Then every period order quantity also is there. Then lot for lot quantity is also there. So depending upon the organization's requirement, you need to plan how much should be your first order quantity, how much should be your periodic order quantity, how much should be lot and lot quantity. Sometimes when the demand for that product is very low, right, but still you prefer that this material, especially bolts and nuts, will always there will be a demand for it, then you don't mind buying it in a lot and keeping it in your inventory. Similarly, periodic order inventory, when will you go? Maybe that material over time has a tendency to rust, or it has chances of deforming in shape, or it might lose its physical properties, right? So in such cases you go for periodic order quantity. In some time when you're starting the order, without these materials you cannot start your business. In such cases you go for fixed order quantity. So basically, as an operations manager, these will be the important parameters of fixing when how much should be your safety stock, how much should be the lead time, what are the different lot size rules that you need to apply. All that will be done by the operations manager while he is scheduling this MRP. So this is a very important target in our MRP process. If this is done accurately, then the entire system will go smoothly. Please pay attention to this video, because after this I'm going to give you a case study uh, where you need to prepare it accordingly based on this video. Yes, can somebody explain what is it? What are they trying to tell us? What is the video about? All are sleeping? Boys, this syllabus which we have is all somewhere down the line. Right now, we are all planning with SAP, MRP, ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, and all that. You're still learning something. You need to grow advanced level, right? If you don't understand this, then whatever case study I'm going to give, you will not understand. How will you make it then? I don't know. I want somebody to explain. You want to see the video one more time? I want an answer. Are you all there in the class? Am I audible? Yes, I will.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, what is the video about? Can you understand the video? What is he trying to tell? You all have studied in third semester. You all have done your mission drawing. There, all the list of materials will be given. You need to, based on those materials you have framed or you have drawn, you have completed the assembly section, right? Screw jack or plumber block or something like that, right? Have we not done that before?
Yes, ma'am.
It's something based on the same thing, but we're talking about the final product. You want to see the video one more time?
No, ma'am, it's fine.
That's fine. Okay. Now I will start with a simple example. I'll stop presenting this video. Now assume I want to make your exam pad. Have you seen your exam pad?
Yes, ma'am.
It'll be something like this. And there will be a clip, something like this. Okay? Maybe something like this. I have a pad with me, so I'm trying to draw the same thing. Now I
You're not
assume.
presenting.
Oh, sorry. Can you see it now? Assume this is the final product I want. Okay? I want to manufacture 100 pads like this. The organization wants to manufacture 100 pads like this. Now, first I want to study for one pad, what and all will be the bill of materials. Can somebody tell me what will be the BOM for this?
Uh, Plastic or wood or whatever it's used. Metal
Okay, I'll
clips,
call this
pins.
as some kind of board. In general, plastic, wood, whatever it is, depending upon what our customer wants, I'll call it as a board. This one I'll call it as a board. Okay, next what I want. What is the other name?
And the metal clip and spring.
This clip itself is a composition of, one is the top cover, okay, top cover. Now, apart from that top cover, you'll press it, right? So definitely there will be some kind of spring action and a pivot will be there. Yes or not? Have you seen your board?
Yes, ma'am.
So it will have a spring, it will have some kind of pivot element over there. Inside this, there will be a pivot element also. Okay, and not only that, to fix it to inside, you need some pins. They are not screws, but they would have used what kind of material that has been used to fix this clip to the board? We would have used rivets. Have you seen your rivets?
Yes, ma'am.
So the bill of materials will be board, then rivets, then what else it will have? The top cover, then inside the top cover you need a spring. These are all the bill of materials that you need when you're doing the production in hand, right? So after that spring, then you need pivot. Have I missed out any other material? Rivets, everything. Okay. So these are the materials that will be required when I have to produce one board, right? Now, if I have to make 100 pads, so how much of these I have to have? Next, you'll have quantity here. So how much I need to have? How much will you plan if you want to make about 100 material, 100 pads of it? Rivets also you need two. So let me be precise. I want two rivets, right, to make one board. So how much I will write the quantity here? If I have to make 100, this is for one pad. 100 rivets. 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 100 r For 100 boards, boys, are you capable of understanding what I'm trying to tell? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ?
Yes, ma'am.
For one pad, I have prepared the bomb as this one. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now for 100 quantities, how much I should, what will be the bomb now? How many boards you need to have if you want to make 100? If your customer needs 100 pads, then
100.
100. Rivets,
200.
200. Top cover,
100.
100.
spring,
100.
100. Rivet,
100.
200.
100. Now,
Two
this
rivets.
rivets will be, no, pivot will be only one. It's just a small kind of, if you see, it will be a long length, a small supporting bar kind of it. It will be only 100, right? Do you think you need 200 for it? It will be something like this. A pivot will be something like this. Small. Something like this. That's how it's shown in my pack. It's just to make sure that clip stays firm. Okay. Then now this is the quantity which I need to produce for 100 pads. But for safety also, I need to keep something. Sometimes the spring can break. Sometimes your rivets, while trying to rivet, some can escape, right? For that, you need to keep some buffer stock or safety stock. Now, how are you going to estimate that? Boards, is there any chance for having damage? It is very likely. So on a safety side, I will keep it as 2, right? Rivets, I will put 150 rivets as extra, right? There is a certain percentage way of calculation, which the organization only, I'm just randomly writing here, but in the organization, the management people will give some allowance for this. Will keep some buffer stock money for this, where you can utilize this money for procuring these kind of safety stock material. Based on that, this allocation will be planned. Top covers, maybe you need 15 extra. Springs, maybe you can keep 150 extra. Then pivot also you can keep some 10 extras, right? So based on the usages, the company will tell us what should be the safety standard maintained by the organization. Based on this, these values will be calculated and these will be maintained in the buffer of the organization. Okay, so this is how the bomb will be planned for the organization. The same thing we can even plan for the automobile company. Suppose if I'm manufacturing car, so what will be the bill of materials? What and all will be the small components that are associated with the making of the car? What are the different sensors that will be used for making the car? Or for all that, they will make the bill of materials. How much should be the safety stock? All that will be planned by them, and based on that, they will target their production. Is it clear? Are you understanding now what is bill of materials now?
Yes, ma'am.
ತುಂಬಾ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಾ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Can you follow me? Am I fast?
No.
No. Okay. So after having understood what is bill of materials, I'll go back to the PPT. Now I have a slide which shows that master requirement planning, it is in master production schedule is directly connected to the materials requirement planning, your inventory master file and your product structure file. These two are interconnected and these are brought together with the master production schedule. Now material planning, requirement planning is more responsible in having our purchase orders, in having our manufacturing orders, in also generating various reports. Can somebody clearly explain or give an example and try to explain what will be the exactly what do we understand from the MRP system? Why nobody wants to explain? Now we realize that the master production schedule basically drives our MRP system for what? To schedule all the uh, finished products. If you know what will be our finished products, then only we can plan our raw material requirement. If our raw material requirement is scheduled properly, that will go to the periodically that order supply or that target of amount of orders will go to the vendor so that we have the right amount of material into our inventory file at the right time and at the right place, right? So this material requirement planning is very much responsible for placing the orders and ensuring that sufficient amount of our required raw material is there in our inventory. If the material is there in the inventory, then definitely so much amount of raw material, daily base amount of material will be released to the manufacturing orders. Whatever is the orders, whatever schedule plan we make for the orders, so much raw material will be released on each and every appropriate days. If they have released it, then definitely our production cycle will go. Then whatever target on a day, if you're trying to target 100 units per day or 100 units per week, that weekly report on daily report will go to the main chief level organization where they can have a periodic study of what are the different reports they are generated, whether they are going towards in achieving their targeted production rates or there is a lag or whether there is a lead time. So all that reports will enable us to study, and if we need to speed up a process, we can speed up. If there is a need to slow down the process, that also we can do it by studying these reports. So that is the general understanding of our MRP system here. What are the MRP inputs? Basically, we need a structured file. We should make sure our master production schedule is in form, right? And our inventory master file is also appropriate. So these will be the three inputs for our MRP system. Now, what is bill of materials? Can somebody explain? What will be bill of materials? Boys, this class is getting boring. What is bill of materials? Bomb andre ಏನಪ್ಪ? A detailed list of the materials where we indicate the amount, the quantities of the parts, components, sub-assemblies, and sometimes it can be the major assembly also that has to be available in our inventory. How much should be released? What is the safety on hand? What will be the planned order? All that this bill of materials should indicate. So basically, bill of materials, it's a material list that provides the information useful to construct the manufacturing process. It is the master product definition that contains a designated information. Okay, so with this I think I'll stop. The next example we'll take it in the next class. if you have any doubts till here, if you want me to play some slide, the numbers have been indicated here. So if you want me to indicate some slide and to ask me to explain, or if you have any doubts, you can raise your question. Is there any doubts? Morning, first hour, you all said sleeping. Even the fourth hour also you feel sleepy, is it? Nobody wants to answer. It's becoming like single traffic.
Can you open the 18th slide one?
18th slide, 1 second. Yes. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
You have any doubts? Should I clarify something? Jane?
I was just noting this thing down.
Oh, please take down. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I call your attendance? If nobody has a doubt, can I call your attendance in the meantime?
Yes, ma'am.
Sai Sumant? Abhishek GL? Abhishek Narayana? Abhishek Narayana? If you don't answer, I'm going to mark you absent. Adarsh V. Desai?
Present, ma'am.
Ajay Sunil?
Present, ma'am.
Akram? Akram Anwar? Akshay Jadhav? Alap?
Present, ma'am.
Ankit?
Present, ma'am.
Ashitesh?
Present, ma'am.
Vihan? Vihan? Chinmay?
Present, ma'am. Chinmay Prasad.
Chandan Swaroop?
Ma'am, Chinmay Prasad present. Am I
Okay.
audible?
Yeah. So, Chandan Swaroop? Karishma? Charishma? Darshan? Darshan? Ibad? Govindraj? Gudda Jayant Reddy? Gudda Purushottam?
Present, ma'am.
Purushottam? Pratiksha?
Present, ma'am.
Jayant is there. Jitin?
Yes, ma'am.
Chaitanya? Karamjit
Present,
Singh?
ma'am.
Karthik Avasti is there. Kiran V?
Yes, ma'am.
Kiran? Mastanullah? Mazin? Sharon? Narendra Sadanand? Nihal U. Shetty?
Yes, ma'am.
Nikhil? Nimla Vagmesh?
Yes, ma'am.
Nitin? Prajwal?
Yes, ma'am.
Prayag Vasudev?
Yes, ma'am.
Prince Prabhakar? Prince Prabhakar? Rakshit?
Ma'am,
Rishi?
Prince and Lloyd, ma'am.
Who is
42.
that?
Prince and Lloyd, 42.
Prince and Lloyd present. Okay.
Yes.
Sandeep P? Sanjay Gowda? Sanjay N? Satish Shankar?
Yes, ma'am.
Anurupik.
What, ma? Satish Shankar? Saurabh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Saurabh, yes, ma'am. Present. 50.
Okay. Shivam Kumar? Shivam Sundriya?
Yes, ma'am.
Shravan Saluja? Srinidhi? Siddharth A?
Present, ma'am.
Siddharth Asanu? Sudeep KS? Sunil Kumar G? Tarun?
Ma'am, he's present. His mic is not working.
Okay. Vinay J.
Present, ma'am.
Vipin Singh. Vipin Singh was there. Vipin. Vivek S. Nilan Chaudhary.
Present, ma'am.
Pranay Lal Mulpatti.
Present, ma'am.
Saksham Singh.
Yes, ma'am.
Akshat PS.
Present, ma'am.
Chaitanya. Mahesh. Nishant. Ramesh. Shashank S. Sautrik Roy.
Present,
Zahir.
ma'am.
Sautrik Roy.
Yes, ma'am.
Zahir Hussain. Okay. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow. Okay. So come prepared. Have some good case studies so we can make our studies little interesting. Okay. So come prepared with some of the case studies. Okay. Thank you then. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.